Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my brow routine. So I usually always have my brows already done in my makeup tutorials, as I find that it just makes things go by quicker, and I know that everyone does their brows a different way. Now for the past year I have been doing my brows a bit more feathery and more thick looking, because back in the day I definitely went through that really thin brow phase, and now looking back at pictures I honestly don't even look like myself, because brows really do frame your face and they make such a difference in how you look. So lately I've been loving the more thicker and feathery brow look, and this technique that I've been using is pretty simple, and there's only a couple products that you will need to achieve this more feathery, thicker, wispy, natural brows. If you want to see how I do my brows, then please keep watching. Okay guys, so let's get started on my new updated brow routine. So I've been filling in my brows for quite a while now, and my technique has definitely changed and evolved throughout the years. I feel like I finally developed a technique that works for me and is quite easy, and it makes my brows look a little bit more natural and less drawn in. So let's get started, and I will zoom you guys in so you can get a better look at how I create my wispy, more natural looking brows. Okay, so right now I do not have any products in my brows at all. I am quite lucky because I do still have quite a bit of hair, and using a spoolie is very important in these steps because I like to just lift my brow hairs up before I use a product to fill them in. So just like so, you're gonna just brush the hairs upwards. I pretty much just use one product to fill in my brows, and that is a brow pomade. So I'm going to be using the brow pomade by Morphe in the shade Java. I'm also going to be using this Zoeva Winged Liner 317 brush, and it's important that your brush is angled and it's quite thin at the tip, not thick, because you want the hair strokes to look more natural and thin to replicate your original brow hairs. So you're just gonna be putting some of that pomade on the back of your brush, like so. Because I want a very thin amount of product on my brush, because you don't want it to look too clumpy and thick, I use the back of the lid just to kind of take away the excess product. You really just want the product to be thin on the brush. And now I have more problem areas towards my outer brow where it's a bit more sparse, so I like to start by creating just thin brush strokes like so. And if you go a little bit too far down, I use concealer towards the end to just clean it up along the way, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you actually see the thin brush strokes and it doesn't just look like you're making a line to fill in the brow. So if you need more product on the brush, just keep going back, adding a little bit more product. And I'm going in an upwards motion. And so the main focus is just creating those thin brow hair lines and trying to make them look as natural as possible. And if you have any specific spots that are more sparse, you can just continue to go in with the product. So until you've reached the desired fullness in your brows, just keep using those upwards brow strokes, and it should look quite natural and feathered out. And now I'm just using this one Java color. Of course, you can mix and match certain shades to your liking. I just find that this one shade works fine for my whole brow, and I just use more product where needed and less where I don't want too much of a dark shade. Now once you have the brow filled to your liking, it's important to go back in with the spoolie and just blend out the work that you have done, just to make it look more natural. And to clean up the bottom part of the brows, I'm going to use this ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 14. I'm just gonna take some of that concealer onto this flat angled brush. So now I'm just going to clean up the brows with that concealer and sculpt them out a bit to make everything look more clean and refined. So the concealer just acts as a guide to clean up your brows a bit. So But you can see if we went a little too far with those brush strokes, using the concealer just cleans everything up and makes it look more refined and just complete. Especially when you're going to be doing some eyeshadow looks, I find that it just helps clean up the brow and clean up the eye area. Now I'm just going to blend that concealer out with this Morphe E46 blending brush, just like so. Now, the final step to complete these brows is to use an eyebrow gel to just hold everything in place. The gel that I have been loving lately is this Benefit Give Me Brow in the shade 3. This also has a bit of color to it, and it just keeps the brows in place very nicely. It really sets all of the hard work that we've just done. I'm just gonna start from the front and go towards the end of the brow. It's really up to you where you want the hairs to stick out more. You can lay them more flat or you can lift them up a bit like I'm doing. But as you can see, doing those brow strokes just makes for a more natural looking brow. I used to really draw like a thick line towards especially the end, and I just felt like it kind of started looking a bit fake and too drawn on. You kind of just want to keep that natural brow look and that natural feathered hair look. That's the look I've been loving, and this has been my everyday brow routine. Okay guys, so that is my updated brow routine. I hope that you guys learned something from this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I will be sure to respond to them. Also, I will be listing all the products that I used in the description box down below, so all of the details will be found there. I hope you guys like this brow routine. It's quite simple. I know that brows can be quite intimidating for some people. If you just really practice and play around with colors and formulas, you'll find a technique that works best for you. This has been the one that I've been loving, so I hope that maybe you guys learned something new and can try out this new technique for yourselves. And let me know if there's any brow products that you guys love and you think I should try, because I'm always up for trying new products and even new techniques. So please leave anything in the comments below. I'll be sure to respond. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!